Okay, so we have written out all our keys for a hotel. You notice that we've had how they're different from here. So we have this, and now we're going to do a method. So a method is basically a quote-unquote function that's attached to the object. So once again, we have to separate these by commas. So commas basically help the computer know where a key starts and ends. And I didn't point this out in the last one, and I'll do that quickly. So you know I have the curly brace right here. Notice that I do not need a comma between this one and this one. So when you're on their last one, no comma is necessary. In fact, I'll show you the error. So if you leave out a comma, I've done this more times than I want to omit, you'll see unexpected identifier because it's reading both of these together. So you need to put the comma there to be able to make it work. And if you put the comma here, I don't know what happens. Let's find out. Nothing. It still works. So don't put a comma there either way. But anyway, so we're going to be looking at how to make a function. Once again, we're going to make a comma. Now I'm going to give myself a little bit of space here to separate the keys from the methods. So we're going to once again go with our availability one. So there's many ways that you can declare a function. When it comes to objects, I prefer to declare them like this so I know what's going on. So I say availability, available, and once again I'm going to name this instead so that I don't have any naming problems. So I know that available f is available function. So available. And now what you do is you just write function. Remember, functions parentheses, block level coding within block level coding, so you have to separate it again. And there we go. And that's how this works. So this is how you declare a function or a method. It's technically called a method, so make sure you remember that for your interviews. So this is how you declare a method within your object. So this is a method that hotels can do. So just like, for example, if you wanted to make an RPG game and you wanted a hero, like a hero can attack. So that's a method that goes along with them. So now we got to put our logic in here. Now I'm going to show you something. So I'm going to console log hotel. Name. We're not going to get an error because I need to call it. I'm sorry. So calling it is the exact same thing as referencing a key. So you do the name of the function just like this. And there you go. Whoops. I was wondering why I got that error. So you see we got an undefined. The reason is because of this little guy. So this is a very important thing to know about BAM. This is a very important thing to know. This is technically a scope issue once again. This name, you would think that you would be able to read this if it's inside the same object. Not true. You have to tell, once again, available what name is or where it belongs. So this is only declared in the specific space. So you need to be able to reference this. And we can reference this the exact same way as we did down here. So we can do hotel dot name. And then I don't know why I got rid of that, so that's awesome. So hotel dot available, and we can run this and notice that we got the name, and I'm also getting rooms because I console logged here. Let me take this out for no confusion. So we got fit right there, see? So that's how this is working right here. Now you don't have to use hotel right here. When you're inside the object, a good practice to get in is this. Notice how it changed colors. basically when you use the keyword this, you're saying, hey, name, look inside the object for this parameter or this key. And when I do this, it should be the exact same thing. See? Fit. So this is very important. I would suggest when you're inside your object, use the keyword this. Now notice this will not work down here like this. See? When you're in the global space, you have to use the name of the object. So it's good practice to use the name of the object outside of the scope, which is obviously the only way that you can do it. So, and then inside the object, you want to only use the keyword this. Once again, that's convention. You don't have to. You can still do it this way. Nothing will happen. It will be the exact same logic. It's just better, I think, to use this. But once again, that's my opinion. Feel free to code the way you would like. And so basically, this logic here is going to remain the same, right? So what we're going to do is if, what are we doing? This rooms equal booked, right? Yes. We're going to say full. And then we're going to do an else statement to tell our consumers that, or the person working the desk, that we can't not book this person. And then that person sues, and whole fiasco, all because we made a program. So there you go. And there's a simple object. See? Not full. So now, this is always connected with this. Now I want to point something out very quickly for people that might be confused with this. The way that we worked with hotel here and here, notice that we got the same result. Everything worked out the same, everything's fine. This works just as well as this does. The only difference is this calling it right here. See, notice how I have hotel right here? So if this was available, we would just have to do here. Just like that. Now you're thinking to yourself, why is object necessary? It just seems like this would be working and we're good. The reason that it's necessary is the fact that when you get into more advanced code, this is going to be a lifesaver. Because you know that hotel is connected with these things, and you know that the methods are in here. So when you change something within here, it's staying within inside that object. So think of it as it's all bundled together under hotel. So you know that hotel has all of these properties and keys, or I'm sorry, keys and methods. And this is kind of, look at this is kind of loosely tied together. You don't know what these are going to be all the time, but you know within this object these are always going to be here. So this is a great way to bundle information together. So for more advanced code, you want to use these. Now in my code I still use these. It's a coder's preference based on the situation. Like if I don't think an object is necessary for a particular program, then I'm not going to do this. But if I think it's really necessary, then I'm going to use this. So you got to be able to be comfortable with both of these so that when you get to a situation when you're coding and you're making something for a client or for yourself, you're like, would an object be better for this, or would just separate variables? So the RPG game, that's a definite case of, yeah, you should make objects. It will be so much neater and you'll save yourself so much time in the long run. If you're making a simple function that's calculating the average of numbers, that doesn't need to be an object, nor does it need to be a method. So it's just something that you need to think of when you're in there. So yeah, that's a brief introduction to functions. Or I'm sorry, objects. Blah, blah, blah.